going to start in the AL East and work through our AL teams, going east to west, and then get to the National League and do the exact same thing, working through those east to west. And with each division, I have the steamer projections written down for win totals, and so it'll just go from highest steamer projection in terms of wins to lowest. And the highest in the AL East is the Yankees, who last year went 94-68, and their record projection for this season is 88-74.
So expect to take a step back.
I mean, in general, the projections are typically a little more conservative.
Yeah.
So like most teams, unless you're really bad, but like if you won your division, even if you're projected to win your division again, your projected number is probably just a little bit lower. It's just kind of how the nature of the steamer goes. I guess it's just a bit of a more conservative model, or however they do it. Bit of a run it back offseason from them. Re-signed Coney Bellinger, re-signed Trent Grisham. The pitching staff is still largely the same, headlined by Garrett Cole. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Max Fried is still there. He pitched last night in their Netflix game against
The Giants.
And was great. Doesn't surprise me at all. Cam Schlittler is kind of their hot new pitcher as well, they hope. I mean, he made his name in the playoffs against the Red Sox, and they hope kind of given a full season he can replicate some of that magic, at least to some extent. Should be a pretty good rotation in lineup-wise. They led MLB in runs scored last season, actually, which I did not know. And that's kind of where the run-it-back philosophy comes from, I'd imagine, of like, we have Aaron Judge still. Just bring back Bellinger, bring back Trent Grisham. You know, Ben Rice is a pretty good hitter. What can Anthony Volpe give us when he gets back healthy? He's on the IL right now. It's a good team. I mean, there's a reason I think this team is projected. Like, I have no qualms with the win projection. What are the odds that they win the
They're
division?
plus 175 to win the division.
Okay. Cool. I don't have tons of reference for that, but that seems pretty fair. I mean, they are in a good division. That being said, and while I do think this is a really good team, this is probably going to be one of the most contested divisions, and the win totals as we go down the line will kind of mirror that as well. I mean, the Rays are fifth in terms of projected record, and they're at 81-81.
Yeah, plus 2,000 from the Rays. Which I believe other divisions, their last place, projected last place, is going to be less likely to win. So the gap from first to fifth is smallest in the AL East. So you're right about that.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that no team is projected to be below 500 is crazy. I would bet a large sum of money on it if I did bet that a team would end up finishing below 500. Just at some point you play enough games against your division, one of the teams is probably going to drop and at some point sell at the trade deadline or something and falter down the stretch. Anything else on this team? Key players?
I mean, it's just going to be a very similar storyline to like what NFL quarterbacks deal with, like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Of is Aaron Judge going to do it in the postseason when we get there? And so it feels like the season doesn't matter.
They won last night, but he had 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And so everything today is like Aaron Judge when he's not playing, when he's on national TV, and you know, some dog shaking really violently or something like that. It's a good point. This team at this point, I mean, winning the division would be nice, but if they lose in the playoffs yet again before the World Series, it'll be just yet another disappointing season, and fans will yet again just be unhappy and, you know, maybe even call for a managerial change or something like that,
Kinda
or at
like,
least shake up the roster a good bit.
It's like the Penn State of college football, right? Where you have all this regular season success, and Oregon is in the early phases of that. But like regular season success after regular season success, Penn State is consistently top 10, top 8, top 4 team, and eventually they just got sick of not being able to do anything after that.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where the Yankees are. I mean, I know one of my friends who was pissed at Aaron Judge after last World Series 2 years ago, losing to the Dodgers, and it's kind of that same frustration, I'm sure, for most Yankee fans is, all right, let's prove it in the postseason, because the regular season is just kind of going through the motions at this point.
Fortunately, Aaron Judge doesn't have that in him. It's been well documented and established at this point. I even like looking at the World Baseball Classic.
Yep.
Next team in terms of win projection is the Red Sox. They went 89-73 last year, and Steamer's record projection for them this season is 86-76. So right around the same mark. Had a bit more kind of shuffling of deck chairs than the Yankees did. Alex Bregman is gone, but they traded for Ranger Suarez and Wilson Contreras and Caleb Durbin to kind of maybe offset. I mean, Sonny Gray's going to be in the starting rotation, but Wilson Contreras and Caleb Durbin can maybe offset some of that hitting that's out the door. And they also signed Ranger Suarez to pitch for them as well. So a couple good moves there. The rotation should be pretty good. I mean, Garrett Crochet is still there. He's the headliner. He's the ace. Like I said, Sonny Gray is going to slot in as well as Ranger Suarez. So a couple big additions there to help round out the rotation. And then the lineup is... What are y'all's thoughts on the lineup? I'll start there before I give my thoughts.
I mean, I'm more interested in the pitching staff,
Sure.
but I don't want to get into that because they've got some interesting minor league guys that might make more appearances.
We can start
this
there, and
season.
then we can get over to the lineup because I was just talking about the rotation.
Yeah, let's start with the rotation. So they've got 2 top 100 prospects who both saw major league playing time last year. Peyton Tolle, Tolle, or Toll, I'm not sure, and then Connolly Early. So I'll be interested to see if both those guys can kind of step up and contribute as the season goes on.
Yeah,
I think that'll be. You talk about your swings for each team. I think that's going to be a big part for them. Is how much do these guys who both already have major league experience, who are in the minors right now, or at least as of when I did my research this morning, that could change because it's opening day and teams are still figuring that out. But how much do those guys contribute as the season goes on is what I'll be interested in seeing.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, it's a double-edged, not a double-edged sword, but ideally, the current guys you have in the back of the rotation, a Brian Bayo or someone of that nature, pitches well enough you don't necessarily need those guys. But then also hopefully those guys just pitch well enough that they force your hand to make you call them up. Because at that point, I mean, that's kind of the good problem to have. And realistically, at some point, somebody's going to get hurt.
Yep.
So it's a great point. I think their lineup's pretty deep. I don't necessarily know if they have the elite bat. Roman Anthony is supposed to be that, right? But it was his rookie season last year. He dealt with some injuries. It's going to be his first full season.
Yeah.
And so he's a fantastic player. But it is that's a high expectation and a bit of a burden to be can you come in and be our best hitter right away and be the truly elite bat? Because down the list, Wilson Contreras, pretty good power bat, solid player. Caleb Durbin hit really well last season, but kind of was out of nowhere. Don't know if you expect him to replicate that, and even hitting well, it wasn't at a superstar level. Trevor Story's getting older, struggles to stay healthy, is about a league average hitter, a little above league average hitter at this point. Jarren Duran, good hitter, but yet again, not great. So I'm going down this lineup, a lot of good hitters, and that's not a necessarily bad thing to have. But say Roman Anthony doesn't really take a step forward and just another pretty good hitter, I don't think it's a very feared lineup, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but you can still do some, if you've got a bunch of guys who are average and a couple guys who are slightly above average, you can get a lot of stuff done without a Shohei Ohtani or a Manny Machado or one of the elite guys.
Sure, but this is yet another team that I think has aspirations just besides making the playoffs.
Yeah.
They've made it multiple years in a row. They want to actually go get something done. And so when push comes to shove, how much are you trusting some of these guys in a playoff series to consistently get hits? And when you're facing consistently just great pitching in the playoffs, can you still deliver? It's a bit of a question.
I think Jack's got a good point. It's something about the Blue Jays last year. They were scrappy 1 through 9, but they still had a bat to go to every single day, and that was Vladdy. And then even Bo Bichette when he finally came back.
And Springer was fantastic last year, too, especially in the playoffs. And so, I mean, who knows? All it takes is Roman Anthony taking that step forward and then say just Caleb Durbin repeats his success from last season and the outlook really changed. It's really more of a nitpick for me than I don't think this lineup is good, if that makes sense. Because it is. There's a lot of good hitters in this lineup. I just don't think it's great. Anything else on this team, or I'll keep it rolling?
Nope, keep moving.
I do want to see, because Chapman, he's been the closer for our entire lifetime. Finally, kind of returned to that true closing status last year with 32 saves. Just, it's fun that he's still pitching. For a guy who will occasionally play MLB The Show, once or so a season. you always trade for Chapman and make him your closer.
Sure.
Just want to see if he can continue on what he had last year.
Yeah, that's a good point. Closely behind the Red Sox in terms of 2026 projection is the Blue Jays, who went 94-68 last season, and their 2026 record projection is 85-77. Biggest offseason move they made was they signed Dylan Cease on the largest free agent deal in club history. It was like 7 years, maybe $200 million or something like that. I should have written down the exact terms so I could just totally airballed that. I hope I at least hit rim in terms of being close. Maybe I got the year right and not the number right. But regardless, they brought in him. They brought in Cody Ponce from the Korean baseball organization. He's a starting pitcher.
7 years, $210 million.
Okay, I didn't swish it.
What did
but
you?
That
what
rattled
did you
it.
say?
7 years, $200 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically perfect.
And then they also signed
It's very
Kazuma
precise.
Okamoto.
Or very accurate. I should say.
Thank you. That's kind of more their offseason. They're bringing back a lot of their bats. You mentioned Vlad. We mentioned George Springer. Alejandro Kirk, their catcher / DH, is still around. Should be a pretty good hitting team. And then rotation-wise, Dylan Cease and Kevin Gausman are the headliners. Anything on this team?
I really like
prospects?
Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
I really
It's
like
a good
him.
pickup.
He was Padre.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yep, he was. The thing I'll say is losing Bo Bichette
That is true. Yeah.
is tough because now Andre Jimenez.
Jimenez.
That's how I would have said that. Is your shortstop, which right now I don't think he's not gonna play to the same level. I don't think
It's
that
kind
Bo
of been a
Bichette
career
was,
second baseman.
yeah, that Bo Bichette played at, especially like you said when he came back in the playoffs and played well. So it's kind of like, is this team better than last year's team? Because they were in the World Series last year. They were a super fun story and go to Game 7 with the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So is this team? Because I don't think the Dodgers are worse than last year. And so did this team get better enough to beat them or to beat
Yeah.
to try to get there again? Can they make that run again?
It's a fair point because the lineup definitely looks a little worse with that loss. Santander is expected to miss a lot of the season. I don't know much about Kazuma Okamoto. He's coming in. He's projected to start at third base for them.
Yeah, 29-year-old rookie.
So, maybe he just is a revelation and he fills a lot of that role and a lot of that Bo Bichette production.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's probably one of his higher percentile outcomes. That's pretty close to his ceiling, and so just not very likely. My swing player for this team is Trey. It looks like Yasavage.
Yeah, I have
but
him
it's
in
like
my notes.
Yasavage or something like that. Didn't pitch a ton last year, but when he did, he showcased nasty stuff, and he's gonna get a chance to pitch to start this whole season. This is his first season full runway. How does that go for him? How does that go for the team? Can he hone in that nasty stuff? Can he pitch a full season and not become fatigued? Because you see it a ton for and teams will even do stuff to work around it of okay, we're in August and now he's going to get sent down, not because he's hurt, we just wanted to have a break for a start. Or, we'll push his start back a day to get him a little extra time. Or, yeah, he's pitching pretty well, but we're only going to have him throw 5 innings. Can he stay in good shape? Can he stay healthy? Can he not lose his stuff throughout the season? Because if it's a huge arm and just a super talented arm, and if he can hone it in and live up to that potential, then suddenly you have a big potential 3-headed monster if and when he joins the rotation.
Yeah.
So
he's starting the year on IL.
Correct.
Only the 15-day though.
Mm-hmm.
But he
it
was
is shoulder, which is scary.
Yeah.
Because that was always what does that mean?
He was one of the coolest stories of last year's postseason.
Yeah. So in terms of healthy season, it's a bad start. Then I missed that he's on the IL. It's a bad start in terms of first full healthy season, but hopefully he bounces back quick because that's a very live arm that they have.
Another guy that I have highlighted, Mississippi State commit JoJo Parker.
Oh.
Is the number 45 player in the minor league top 100 or whatever that list
Did he
is called.
just get drafted?
Yes, he's a
Dang,
rookie.
that's crazy.
Yeah, he's already number 45. He was the number 8 overall pick. I highlighted him because he's a top 50 prospect right now, but also he's a Mississippi State commit who went out of high school.
Yeah.
So I had to give him a shout as a state podcast.
His brother's Justin, right?
Jacob Parker.
not Justin.
Justin Parker's our coach,
Yeah,
so that's that's where the Justin Parker in your brain came from. But Jacob Parker, I low key really hope that JoJo gets to play because Jacob is having such a fantastic freshman season at State. It'd be really cool to see JoJo go ahead and do something in the just so like there could be like a competition of like.
I feel like odds got to be small though. He just got drafted out of high school, right?
Correct.
Like
the odds are minuscule. This is coming from someone who just like as a fun story. I would or maybe he lights up the minor league levels because that would be really funny to have they're twin brothers, and so one brother's tearing up college and one of them is tearing up the minor leagues. That would be a super cool story. But just hope that he has success this season. I doubt that he'll make a huge impact. But like I said, the shortstop position for the Blue Jays is like probably one of the weakest positions on the team right now.
You're on all-time GOAT trajectory if you get drafted as a high schooler and immediately start playing.
Yeah. The crazier things have happened.
That may be the craziest.
No, not the craziest. But yeah, other stuff about we haven't been picking team over-unders.
We have not. We may just scrap that at this point and just pick division winners.
That's fine.
If you do like have a team and you're like, I feel really strongly about this over under, you can give it like a special shout, but we just don't have to go team by team on that front.
I mean, I'm hammering the Dodgers over, but we can get to that later.
Sure. That brings us to the fourth team in the division in terms of record projection. The Orioles, who went 75-87 last year, and this season are projected to bounce back a little bit. The record projection is 84-78. Because of kind of a bit of a step back and disappointing 2025, they went out and kind of, mixed up the team Kim, mixed up the pieces. They traded for Shane Baz. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He legitimately has past 4 seasons not had a fully healthy season. Traded for Taylor Ward and signed Chris Bassett to shore up the rotation. And then kind of their biggest move, I'd argue, is signing former Mets slugger Pete Alonso to the squad. I believe it was the Mets' all-time home run record. It's like a legit power bat to shore up that lineup.
Yeah, the polar bear.
Mm-hmm. The rotation is maybe – I don't think it's the greatest. It's better than last year. They still have some young prospects that, maybe could step up and shore it up. But, I mean, at the top you have Trevor Rogers and Kyle Bradish, who – Trevor Rogers was fantastic last season. I'm a little worried about his ability to repeat it, though. As I'm talking, I'm pretty sure he pitched 6 or 7 scoreless innings today. Behind them, it's like they're fine pieces, but it's just not the flashiest rotation. So maybe I'm getting, there's no sparkle, and so I'm underrating it, and that probably is the case. But maybe I would have liked to see a better piece there. Y'all's thoughts on the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, the rotation was supposed to be a problem going to last season, right?
Yeah.
And I ignored it and picked them to win the AL East, and they disappointed me. And now I feel like it's expected to be a problem yet again going into this season. And even if it is better than last year, is it better enough?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be better, assuming Chris Bassett and Shane Baz stay healthy.
Yeah.
And the odds are that Shane Baz doesn't stay healthy, right?
Yeah.
JP is eagerly awaiting the
ref
the
gonna
final
blow,
whistle.
man. We're 2 minutes. Okay, finally.
Congrats.
Sheesh.
Big win.
Had to
We're
sweat
2
it
minutes
out.
past stoppage time. We haven't blown yet.
The lineup, I like the look of the lineup. The Alonso piece really transforms it in my eyes. Gunnar Henderson's still there.
Yep.
Taylor Ward can slot in. It looks like he's going to bat lead off. I'm hoping Adley Rutschman can bounce back a little bit. He's been good, but like he was, maybe supposed to be like the best catcher in the MLB, and I don't think he's really quite lived up to that. I mean, he was a top prospect. He might have been the number 1 overall prospect when he debuted.
I believe he
definitely
was
top 10.
He was fantastic in college, and I mean, I feel like it took him a little bit longer. I can't remember how long he's been in the majors, but he was drafted he was like drafted in like 2018, 2019. And so he spent several years in the minors.
2019, I think.
So I would say it kind of took him a while to get here, and last year was not his best year, I don't believe. I think the year before that was a better year.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you need him to have a bounce-back season. You need, Jackson Holiday to have not a bounce-back season, but a breakout season.
Well, he's starting the season on the injured list.
Correct. Well, they've got several guys on the injured list. Jackson Holiday's on the injured list. You need him to get healthy and then play like the number one. He was the number one overall pick.
A number one overall Yeah.
Number one overall pick, and
Yeah.
you need him to kind of play like the number one overall pick, or play like the number one overall pick, and he's just young. So you're like, oh, okay, so we see the flashes. They're there. Like, you need to see something from him and have him play well. Jordan Westberg's on IL. You need him to come back healthy and play well. State guy. Shout out Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Mississippi State legend Jordan Westberg. Not just a commit, but an actual attendee. And College World
Champion, I think.
Series champion, I believe. I'm pretty
I
sure
think-
he was on that team. But
Yeah.
I'm not positive. They kind of run together.
And even just aside from Holiday, who's hurt right now, the back end of the lineup is just a lot of younger guys. Colton Cowser, Blaze Alexander. So, like, how do they step up? How do they take advantage of, like, kind of getting their first real chance?
Yeah.
Or you know, their second year as, like, kind of a guy. Because if they don't progress and they don't kind of live up to their high prospect billing, the lineup really falls off.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bit of a swing with this team, is how do the young guys perform? And it's really been the biggest question for them the past couple years. And there's been varying degrees of success on that front in terms of, you know, you're never going to have a 100% hit rate. But I think they would have liked a little better of a hit rate up to this point, especially
Yeah.
on the pitching side, realistically, not just the hitters.
I feel like this might be this could be one of the most fun teams if it works out, just because, well, I mean, if every player works out, like you could say about a lot of teams, but they have so many intriguing names and intriguing guys with Gunnar Henderson, Pete Alonso, Adley Rutschman, with, like I said, Jackson Holiday, Jordan Westberg. That's 5 guys who are, if they're playing at their best, like really fun bats and really fun defenders. So if everything works out, which that's not going to happen, but you know, I'm an optimist. That could be really fun to watch. So they will be an interesting team to see, and we will find out if I'm going to pick them to win the AL East back-to-back years in a few minutes. But not yet.
Anything on the Orioles, JP? Should I move on to the
Rushman's
Rays?
batting. Sorry, no. He is. He's got 2 hits. He's 2 for 4. He's 500 this season, so he's on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yeah, bounce back season already.
That's crazy. Shout out him.
No, I
good for
have no thoughts on the Orioles. To be honest, I do think the Pete Alonso signing is kind of a nothing burger. I don't think it's going to make that much of an impact this year for them. I don't.
You just don't.
And
think
that is a little bit of me being a Mets hater.
Yeah, I mean, I'm anti Pete Alonso as well.
I won't lie, but I just don't think it will make as much of an impact on either side, the Mets side or the Orioles side.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets did a pretty good job of replacing him.
I'll also say the top 10 minor league prospect catcher / first baseman Samuel Basallo.
Yeah. Another one of those young guys.
If you're a Pete
in the back of
Alonso
the lineup.
hater, you know, maybe he
He'll
comes
fix
in and
stuff.
plays. I
Hopefully
really don't
not,
know.
'cause-
Yeah, it's kind of tough. It's like when I play Road to the Show, I only play shortstop, but I had MLB 2019, I think, which had Tatis at shortstop, and I always want to play shortstop, and so I just never got out of the minors. That's kind of how
Yeah.
I feel like he's literally playing 2 of the worst positions. He's listed as a catcher / first baseman, and you've got Adley Rutschman and Pete Alonso at catcher and first base. So it's
That's why
kind of
I got
like
him sliding to the DH spot in this theoretical lineup.
that is true. That is true. But
At some point, you hit enough, they're going to find a spot for you.
it is weird having these guys who were listed as minor league prospects a couple hours ago, and they're listed on projected lineups. It's like,
Well, I mean, you're also still a prospect even if you're in the majors until you play a certain number of games.
oh, how many games is it?
I think it's 60.
Oh, shoot.
No, I think it's 60 innings pitched.
I hadn't ever
or
thought
something.
about what the cutoff is.
Because, like, technically, people that played in the majors last year can still be going into their rookie season if they didn't play enough games. So, like, yeah,
is it 60 total games or 60 in a season?
I mean, it should be like 60 days if you're caught for 60 days or something like that. But I could just be
Okay.
off. I don't remember what the cutoff is
Okay.
anymore, to be honest. But yeah, it is.
My
just
brain
kind of
would
a
immediately
weird-
go to how can I scam this? Like, not actually, but like, there's just got to be so many, like, there has to be like a lot of weird situations where players have like been called up for 50 days and then sent back down, and so like they play for a long time, but they're still rookies.
Yeah, I mean, the opposite of what they'll do is you just call them. This doesn't preserve their rookie status, but if you just wait till like after April to call them up, you get an extra year of service time.
Yep.
Which is kind of interesting. On to the Rays, though. Went 77-85 last season, and their 2026 projection is a flat 500, 81-81. Not much in terms of offseason moves. I mean, they traded for Gavin Lux. They signed Steven Matz for some pitching depth. which is the Rays. So I'm not surprised that they didn't make splashy moves, because when do they make splashy moves? But I'm pretty low on this Rays team, to be honest, and I think there's good reason to be. I think kind of their little run is over. Now, I trust their front office enough that, like, I think they'll put together some competent squads. But, like, this team was legitimately very good. So some 90-win seasons, stuff like that, really competing in the AL East, and I don't see that this season. Rotation-wise, Drew Rasmussen is the headliner in a way, coming off his first full season in 3 years, and he was great last year. And then Shane McClanahan is kind of the other big name behind him. I mean, Steven Matz is there. It's like I have learned to trust Rays pitching and like trust their development. So like I'm sure they're going to put out some good pitchers. I mean, I've got a lot of experience with Steven Matz as a Braves fan, and he pitched for the Mets for a while. And then aside from that, their lineup, Junior Caminero is their hitting star, I would say. 46 homers last season, his first full year in the majors. They signed Cedric Mullins. Yandy Diaz is still there. But it's just like, yet again, not a deep Rays lineup. Like, the bottom of the lineup is probably going to be a lot of singles and, like, Chandler Simpson of, like, their team that's probably going to try and play a lot of small ball, steal some bases, maybe bunt some. And they had Jake Mangum last season, kind of like the Jake Mangum mold, some of those guys. But y'all saw some of these teams. Y'all see them really.
They made a lot of moves in the outfield. They brought in 3 new outfielders and they ship off Jake Mangum to the Pirates. But I was just like looking at their lineup. The majority, the top of their lineup is all their infielders, which I feel like is not necessarily standard. And I feel like, so I'm wondering, like, their outfield is just gonna be weaker offensively, which maybe that's where the moves came from, is trying to find some guys, some prospects, like you said, some guys to develop, talent identification. That they're trying to do that, to go to other guys' systems and, pull guys they like, other team systems and pull guys they like. That might be what's going on, but that's just something to kind of keep your eye on, is who ends up being the go-tos in that outfield, and can someone step up outside of Ryan Velarde? Velarde? Man, so many.
No idea.
Yep, that's we're going to run with that. Outside of him, like, what kind of bat's going to step up in the outfield? That'll be something I'm interested to see, because they lost Jake Mangum. He could get on base. Mississippi State legend. Has that now 3 of the first 5 teams we mentioned have Mississippi State legends? Or not? They don't, because they moved on for him.
We'll get to the A&M ones later. But I think that is 3 of the first 5.
You got one of the top. I think he's a top 10 prospect.
Braden Montgomery.
Yeah.
Maybe he will get mentioned.
Top 20. He's
I
up
think
there.
He's top 20. He should debut this season, so I'm excited for that.
Do we want to pick the AL East?
Yeah.
Or do you have anything on
the only thing I was going to say is really just casual fan take. I really like Junior
He's
Caminero.
fun.
He's really fun.
He's really fun.
And Chandler Simpson is an MLB The Show GOAT, because he has 99 speed, 99 steal, so he's your pinch runner guy.
He plays like that in real life, too, of kind of the cheesy MLB The Show player.
Yeah.
I think he hit his first professional home run like the other week or something in spring training. It was like, wow, this is crazy. He's projected for 2 home runs on the season. I mean, it doesn't count as like his MLB stat totals, but he is playing at the professional level, so it's like his first professional home run, if that makes sense.
I just feel like that's a practice. So, like, why would you be like, oh, he hit his first home run in practice?
It's a real game. They're recording. I mean, the Braves were the spring training champions. So
we have spring training champions now.
Yeah,
we
you
won
do
the
in the summer
Grapefruit
league in the NBA.
Yeah, it means a lot, man.
It does mean a lot.
It's really fun winning it in 2K. Like, it's a pretty rewarding feeling. Because also it's just like single elimination, like the way they do it in 2K. So you got to go through this massive bracket. It's tough, man.
Okay. What were you saying, JP?
I was just gonna say those 2 things.
Okay.
I like Junior, and Chandler Simpson is an MLB The Show GOAT.
I'm going to take the Yankees to win the division. I don't feel fantastic about it. I think it's just, I mean, look at the win total projections yet again. It's a tightly contested division. But they are kind of regular season warriors, and I trust them to yet again do that, and I won't pick them to win anything in the postseason. But
I'm going to take the Yanks as well. I think this is a team that might, while they were kind of conservative in a way this offseason, they did bring back Bellinger, which is important. I do think even with the addition of Garrett Cole this year, which, of course, they hope he returns to some kind of form before. I think they're going to be buyers at the deadline and make some kind of big move, because I don't think they're going to put up with not winning a championship, especially not winning a pennant, I guess I'd say. Winning the AL pennant, that is. So I think they'll be buyers at the deadline, but I do think they win the division.
Sure.
I will not be picking the Yankees, and so I have to now decide. I'm going either Blue Jays or Orioles.
You're just a big bird guy.
Apparently, yeah. Picking the two bird teams in the AL East. I'm going to run it back with the Orioles.
Okay. Good luck.
I picked them last year, and they very, very sorely disappointed me, but I'm going to bet on y'all again this year. I'm going to bet on the pitching staff improvement. I'm going to bet on healthy Jackson Holliday and Jordan Westberg, and I'm going to bet on good seasons from the rest of those guys in the lineup that we talked about. So I will be going Orioles back-to-back.